Hello my dear friends, a friend of mine gave me an idea to make a video about bikes. I've researched quite a bit on the bikes, which one is for which purpose and what are the differences between these bikes. I don't have three types of bikes. I don't have MX, which is cross bike or off-roading or forest bike, mountain bike if you want to call it, with full suspension, which big cassettes at the back and small sprockets at the front, chain rings. So I don't have that because it just only purposes mountains and the forest, something really bumpy. Another bike I don't have, which is the BMX, basically for track jumping and for stunts. And another bike I don't have, which is the fixie bike. Fixie bike is the bike for cruising, for the flat terrain, for city, for along the beach rides, where your crankshaft connects to your rear wheel constantly, and there's only front brake and you use the pedals to brake the rear wheel. This is all done for simplicity and for weight of your bike. So let's start with the first bike, which is the mountain bike. Here you have fat wheels, which is 26 and 2 wheels. What do you have there? You have a gap between the wheel and the frame on the pretty fat wheel. You have rear cassette and a big sprocket, so you can easier climb the terrain. And you have 3 chain rings at the front, and that gives you a range between your terrain. So you can use it on the road, but it's just not gonna go as fast as the other bikes. So you have the front suspension would absorb all the bumps, which is good, and it's pretty light as well. And that's pretty much it. It's the mountain bike with the fat wheels. So the next bike is hybrid. The difference between mountain bike and the hybrid is the chain rings are the same, 3 at the front and slightly smaller at the back. Here you can see slightly smaller, similar to road bike. And you do have the suspension, but your wheels are thinner, which are made for the road, and the gap, the rear wheel, is pretty much the same as there, so you can't put thicker wheels on that. So these wheels are 740. You can put probably maybe 42 thicker. That's it. You can't put wheels as thick as that. So on the hybrids you can also get the disc brakes. These are V brakes. The difference between disc brakes and V brakes: the V brakes don't perform well when your wheel is wet or when it's covered in mud, so they don't really brake very well. That's why they changed to disc brakes. And it depends where you're planning to ride, just keep in mind. But to my experience, the V brakes work better than the disc brakes. So that's why how I understand. So this is the hybrid bike. You also have the front suspension, and on this one I have the saddle suspension, so you can get a tube that'll protect your spine. So this absorbs the bumps on your butt, but there's no rear suspension to take the momentum of your power when you pedal fast. So this is the difference between mountain bike and the hybrid. Hybrid is made more for the road, but it's not a road bike. You have a flat handlebar for easier position. So let's switch to the road bike. So the road bikes are sleeker. So this is the gap between the rear wheel again, and the wheel is 25/700. So the cassette is slightly smaller than on the hybrid. Everything done is for the weight, so you can't really put, I think the maximum wheels here, you can put tires, you can put 32, and you have 2 front chain rings. So chain ring is bigger and the other one is also bigger, but the third one is missing. Again, it's for the weight. So road bike is made strictly for the road, a bit of a light gravel, depends on which tires you have, and also the wheel, the drop bars, the handlebar. The drop bar, what is the handlebar for? Before, people created the pedals and the clips and the pedals with clips with the shoes and pedals for those shoes. People created the drop bar. The drop bar is for when you put your hand like that and your angle to your pedals go like that. So you basically push against the handlebar and you push the pedals. This gives you extra power. So this is the purpose of the drop bar. That's the only purpose of that. I don't really like it, but a lot of people use it on their bikes and road bikes. It does give you a position for grabbing like that, grabbing like that, grabbing here, so it's all good. You get used to it. So we'll cover the pedals for the clips. It'll take you a bit of a time to get used to. The reason for that is, so it's not that you push the pedal, but when your shoes clipped onto the pedals, you pull the pedal forward. So that gives you activates extra muscle in your legs. So you not just push, you also pull. Your ride becomes much easier. So it'll take you a bit to get used to, but this is the actual purpose. And you can also use the drop bar to push your hands against and push the pedal back. Okay, so not just down, but also back. Okay, so this is the road bike, and let's switch to the the brakes. The V brakes, they're sleek, they're small, they're light, and they work aerodynamic. They work perfectly. So that's why there's no disc brakes, because there's a bit of a heavier. We'll cover it just a little bit later. And this one is the time trial bike. This is 2008 Scott Plasma Pro, about 8.5 kilograms. So the purpose of the time trial bike is, the wheels I have is also 25s, I think I put, yeah, sorry, these are 23s. These are 23s. I could put 20, I couldn't even put 25s. So the gap between the frame and the wheel is like really tiny, yeah. So like that. So this is the purpose. This is only even sleeker bike than the road bike. All it's made for time and speed. Normally the rear cassette is much smaller. All the sprockets are really tiny, but I put a slightly larger one because I have a hilly terrain, and otherwise I cannot climb the terrain. I need the range. Your front chain ring is huge, and the slightly smaller one that gives you a bit of a range between, again, for your terrain, what you need. So again, brakes are sleek, everything is just super sleek. There's no holes, there's nothing else you can add on to the bike. It's just made for weight, for lightness, and for aerodynamics and for speed. Then the handlebars are also different. You have a handlebar like that with the brakes, so everything to do with aerodynamics. And you also have the TT aero bars, right? So I had these bars on any of my bikes. I had it on my mountain bikes, I had it on my hybrid, because you gain a lot of aerodynamic coefficient when you go through the wind. You basically, if you have a headwind or you're going downhill, you fold yourself and you basically become like a bullet, more like, and you can go much faster and yeah, with less resistance. Another thing I will cover, the seat or saddle I have here. This saddle is called Rolson here. You can buy it on eBay or Amazon. It's a sleek saddle, but it's thick. So after riding 100 kilometers on any of the bikes I had, I use this seat or saddle and my butt doesn't feel anything. So I wake up the next day and I'm ready to go. So I've ridden 1,000 kilometers. I've ridden, yeah, every day for many commuted on my bikes every day, every week. So this saddle is just great. It wears out, you just throw it away. It costs about $10, 15 US dollars. So this is the difference between all of these bikes. So what I'll cover now is what is the best or the most expensive, let's say, bike. Everything with the price of the bike has to do with the weight of the bike. The most important part of the bike is the wheels. The wheels could cost you $5,000 or $10,000. Could be carbon and light. On those wheels you will have tubeless tires and the basically everything to do with weight. The guys go crazy and they just, oh, my inner tube is 10 grams lighter, or my saddle is carbon, or my chain is from made from lighter material and the metal, and then these are from different material, and like everything is carbon. And so look, this bike is 8.5 kilograms, right? It's really light. So I ride it most of the time with the bag, so I can carry something with me, just like food or anything, or water or whatever else. So from my experience, if you want to consider these expensive and unnecessary upgrades on the bike, just lose a couple of kilograms on your body, and that will compensate on that. That's my best advice, because the bike is good as it is and you don't need to spend money on it. So let's say this bike, at the back there's no holes for rear rack, for the mud guards. There's nothing you can clip on. This is as light as it can possibly be. Yeah, that's it. So I can show you on a road bike. On a road bike you have holes for the mud guard or the front rack, and at the rear you have one hole, whether it's for the mud guard or for the rear rack. Where on the hybrid or mountain bikes, I have a hole for rear rack, I have a hole for mud guard, and holes over here. I can clip on the rack and carry more stuff if I want to. And the same at the front, you have extra hole, and you have like these holes. These are for disc brakes, but you can also make clamps. People make carriers to the front, and yeah, they ride the bikes the way they want to ride them. So this is pretty much everything on the bikes, and hopefully this will help you to choose the bike you want to ride. Hopefully this information will save you time. Have a lovely day. Enjoy.